Hey there, Kaleidoscope Klan. How's everyone doing? It's mariposamaat, your transformational and astrological life coach. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about ASTRO-Cartography. For those of you who've never heard the term, ASTRO-Cartography is the study of locations on the planet that are good for you to visit. So it's a very good tool to use if you want to travel. There are certain locations based on your time and place of birth that are good for you personally to visit. And that can activate different energies in your life. So it also matters what time in your life you're in, what energies that you're needing to activate. And this is something that was very interesting for me to study, but even more so when I looked at places that I've always been interested in, places that I have visited, I could see, or places that I've lived, I could see that it was spot on. But then after I had studied, I put it to the test when I traveled to Bahia, Brazil, which was my first really long travel trip, solo trip. It's the first place that I traveled many hours away to a place where they spoke a different language that I did not know. I mean, I did study a little bit of the language, of course, and I would tell anyone, if you go anywhere, please just study the basics of the language. Know the basics. Please, thank you, how are you and such. But yeah, I went to Brazil. It was not surprising to me when I looked up Brazil as a possible travel location that it was very positive for me, as Bahia is actually on my Jupiter and Venus lines, and it was definitely energies that I was wanting to activate in my life. And I've always had a special interest in that particular location since I became aware of it in my 20s. Now I'm in my 50s, and so for at least 30 years I have had an interest in Brazil and the culture there. So I was already familiar with capoeira and the spiritual culture, candomblé, and just certain elements about the culture. I've seen movies about it, and I've even learned I've had some songs that were my favorite songs that were in Portuguese, and I had to translate them to understand them, but it was something that I was holding in my consciousness. So anyway, that was before I even looked into the cartography of the place, and lo and behold, it was very positive. And when I traveled, I can honestly say that it was the most amazing experience I've ever had. Very affirmative of my cartography related to both Venus and Jupiter. Very expansive, very enjoyable, related to all of the arts, related to dance and culture and beauty, all of the senses, food, it activated all of that. I went to the beach, I went to the mountains, I was, on cobblestone roads, just living my dreams there. So, yeah, it was very successful. And so now, because of that, I feel very confident in being able to counsel others in finding locations that are very supportive of their personal growth in the ways that you want to grow. Because again, you can go to a location, on your Mars if you want to focus on, physicality, or, activating, being more, coming out of your shell more. Or if you want to do Mercury, if you're into business and, places to go for good business, it's like, it depends. You can go to places on your North Node if you really want to step into your North Node and find your purpose. Or, your IC, you can go, to find more familial type realities, or to deal with family issues, So there are lots of opportunities. If you're looking to travel, don't travel without consulting your cartography chart. That is what I would say. Because like I said, even when I look at my past, at places that I've had very good or impactful experiences, like when I lived in Washington, D.C., that's in a special place on my cartography chart as well. It all, makes sense, and I would definitely encourage it. So if you're interested in getting a consultation, I am available, and my information is in the description below. Also, I have a book that I wrote this year, that I published this year, entitled "To Be a Butterfly, the Caterpillar Has to Die." And it is a book of poetic expressions of transformation from the cocoon. While I was transforming in Mexico, is when I wrote these poems. And I would say that it's 144 pages, so it's very full of riveting heart expressions. I call it ShadowWork poetry. So it's like a lot of feeling and information condensed, into poetry. And it is sure to be a catalyst for you to also process some things that people do not talk about in our society, things that are more taboo, things that are more about challenge. There are some happy things in there too. But yeah, like happy about freedom and stuff like that. So I would highly recommend purchasing my book. And so that's also in the description below. Transformational stuff. And overall, if you're looking for support while you're going through a transformational time, I am available for that as a transformational and astrological life coach. Okay, so again, my name is Mariposamaat, and until next time, continue to embody your sacred transformation. Peace. Welcome to the Aquarian Age. Have you ever wanted to unlock the secrets in your personal astrology chart? As a certified astrological life coach, I can help you to use it to navigate your journey with more wisdom and grace. If you're interested, you can find the details in the description below. Now is the time to align with the divine order. Introducing my first published book, To Be a Butterfly, The caterpillar has to die. Poetic expressions of transformation from the cocoon. Yes, after 5 long years of cocooning in the Mayan jungle, I've finally emerged and earned my wings. And just like the title says, this dark night of the soul wasn't always pretty. Within the 144 pages of this epic work, you will find 30 passionate poems that are sure to be thought-provoking, stimulating, and even triggering at times. Welcome to my world. Buy your copy now on Kindle.